Good day po, Ma'am Paula. I am Rename Sauceda Sambilay, the leader of Group 7 po. My members are Camila Denise Ashley, Grial Yuan Abraham, Puro Christian James, and Rodriguez III Ricardo Emmanuel. Our program po is entitled Multifunction Program. It is a Python-based program that we created to showcase the programming concepts we learned from our prelim to finals period. This include user input, basic arithmetic operations, conditional statements, and loops and iterative structures.
The user chooses between four different functions. Each function does something different. The first function greets the user by asking for their name and age. The second function acts like a basic calculator for two numbers. The third function checks if the number is positive, negative, or zero, and also whenever it's even or odd. The fourth function calculates the factorial of number using loops.
These are the program features. First, we start with initialization. Variables are initialized to a default value upon starting the program. This could be 0 or just simply a blank variable. But as you can see, in line 8, the choose variable is declared -1. This is to ensure that the loop runs at least once, because in our main loop, we start with while choose is not equal to 0. If the choose value is 0, it will immediately go to goodbye, because that terminates the loop. They are also declared globally within functions in order to modify the value of that variable used inside the function. We can see this in the numerous functions that we have. In function 1, we name the variables name and age as global variables because we want to change their value and return that value into our program to be used throughout the entire code. These are the functions used throughout the multifunction program. First is the line break function. This prints a line break for easier visual organization of the UI. Next, we have the error message function, which prints a standard error message for an invalid input whenever it is called. Next is the goodbye function. This prints a farewell message and also exits the program. Next is the main function. This function displays the main menu to the user. This also calls the choose function. The choose function is used to prompt the user to enter a number of their choice corresponding to the function that they wish to operate. Next is the new option function. The new option function asks the user whether they wish to repeat the program or exit.
For function 1, this part of the program is all about variables and user input. When the user selects function 1, the program tells them that it will ask for their name and age. After that, the program uses the input function to collect the name as a string and the age as the integer. It also has a try and except block, which means the program checks if the age is a valid number. If the user types something that is not a number, the program shows an error message and restarts function 1 so the user can try again. When the when the inputs are valid, the program prints a simple output says, "Hello, your name, you are, then your age years old." After showing the results, the program calls new option, which is a part that asks the user if they want to return to the main menu.
Good day, my name is Yuan Abraham Guriel, and I'm here to discuss about function number 2. First, we will start at the main menu, which will greet you with 4 functions. We will go with function number 2 and then type out number 2 so we can access to it. Once we get to function number 2, you will be greeted with 4 operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. You will then type out 2 numbers, but if you type out a a letter, such as a letter, you'll be given a error message. But if you actually type out two numbers, you'll be given this. Uh, you'll be given a sum, a difference, a product, and a quotient. The sum is when you add two numbers together and create a sum. Difference is when you subtract two numbers together to create a difference. The product is to multiply, and the quotient is to divide. If number two is equal to zero, then it will print out in a error message such as the quotient is division by zero, therefore it's not possible. It will return the inputs number one and two back to its default state, and then ask you a question of, would you like to choose another function, yes or no? If you type yes, you will return to the main menu, and no, it will call off the program and exit it. Thank you.
For the function tree naman po, if a selected tree which is conditional statement, tatawagin niya po yung line break para ma-print yung divider for clean output. First, the program will display the message saying that you have selected function tree, which is conditional statement, and that this function checks if a number is positive, negative, or zero. First, the program will ask po the user to enter the number. If hindi integer yung na-enter ni user, iko-call niya po yung error message. Then, uulit po si program sa pagtanong or paghingi ng number. If valid naman po yung number, the program will continue. If number is greater than 0, it will display the number you entered is positive. If number naman po is less than 0, the number you entered is negative. And else, it will display the number you entered is 0. After identifying if the integer is positive, negative, or 0 po, it will then identify naman if the number is even or odd. And after that, it will display the message. Once it's done po, it will call the function new option to ask the user if he or she wants to run another function. If yes, it will ask the user what he or she wants to try, and if no, it will call the function goodbye, and then it will exit the program.
Function 4 is all about loops and iterative structures, and its goal is to compute the factorial of a number. First, the function declares global n so we can use the same variable outside the function, and then it prints an introduction to tell the user what the function does. Next, the function enters a loop that keeps asking for input until the user enters a valid integer. If the input is invalid, the program shows an error message and repeats the prompt. After that, there's another loop that checks if the number is negative, because factorials cannot be computed for negative numbers. So the program continues prompting the user until a non-negative integer is entered. If the user enters 0, the program will immediately print 0 factorial is equal to 1. If the number is greater than 0, the program initializes fact equals 1, prints a header, and then uses a for loop that runs from 1 to n. In each iteration, fact multiplies by the current number and the program prints the result, basically showing the factorial step by step. Finally, the function calls new option to ask the user if they want to try another function, and then it returns to n. Overall, the function 4 shows error handling, input validation, and the use of both while and for loops. It neatly demonstrates how loops can control repetition in a program, and in the end, it ties everything together by producing a correct factorial output based on the user's input.